Hey guys, this is Courtney back from Willow's Bloom, and today we're going to be talking about the Scorpio April forecast. Before we get into that, I did want to mention that March was a really big month. We had Saturn move into the sign of Pisces, where it's going to be for the next 2.5 years. We had Pluto move into the sign of Aquarius, which is epic. Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008, so really significant deal. I think it's going to be in Aquarius for 20 years, more or less. And we also had the start of the astrological new year, which occurred with the Aries new moon. So that is going to set the stage. It's kind of like a solar return or birthday for the year. That's going to set the stage for the year to come. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't already, watching all of those videos, and I will link them all down below. The Saturn video, we did do predictions for what that will look like for each sign. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. Okay. I also wanted to say that I wasn't sure what you guys wanted because I did a poll on my YouTube and I got a really 50-50 split between doing weekly and monthly forecasts. So we're going to try, we've been doing them weekly, so we're going to try to do monthly and see how that feels, see how I like it, how you like it. So if you have any feedback on which one you prefer now that we're trying both out, let me know down below, and I can kind of get your opinion. I was considering doing like a general weekly forecast, but still continuing to do like monthly overviews for every sign. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just experimenting. I just want to do what's best for you guys, what works for you guys, but also what works with my schedule and how busy I'm feeling. So it'll probably change up and vary depending on what's going on in my life. But I just really honestly enjoy making content so much. That's why have almost like 400 videos, I believe. And I just want to support you guys. So the best way I can do that is if you let me know how I can support you. And I really, really do listen. There are video requests that people have made even 6 months ago that I still remember and will do at some point. So don't think I'm forgetting you. Don't think I'm ignoring you. I actually read all of your comments and take everything into account, except the mean ones. So if you're mean, I'm not listening. Okay. All right. So Scorpio, getting started with you on April 3rd, you have Mercury moving into Taurus, which is in your 7th house. So Mercury, wherever it is, it's kind of bringing our mind with it. Not only our mind, but our to-do list. So wherever our mind goes, our energy tends to flow. And so you having Mercury move into your 7th house of relationships is going to put a more of an emphasis in April on your relationships. You're going to be thinking about your partnerships. You're going to be thinking about your love life. You're going to be thinking about your clients, who you work with, close connections that you have. And you might have kind of just more going on emotionally in that area of your life as well, especially because I did pull the King of Cups. So you might be thinking about how you feel emotionally, how you react to people emotionally, and all of those things in your life. This is making a square to Pluto on the 3rd, which tends to bring up a little bit of intensity. Mercury square Pluto, it makes us start to really tap into elements of ourself that we have maybe hidden from our conscious mind, that we have maybe pushed down a little bit or kind of have ignored. If there has been building or ongoing issues within the home, within your relationships, within your family members, you will start to see some of those things kind of come up to the surface. You might feel like it's time for an important like self-expression, a truth, an honesty with somebody, bearing your heart to somebody. If there have been ongoing issues, like confronting that and addressing it with a specific person. And I think many of you guys also, if you've been feeling unsure about a specific relationship or about the future or about how you feel about someone or something in your life, especially concerning another person, which I can kind of see with the King of Cups and 7 of Cups. Some of you guys might really be in your feels and uncertain about someone in your life or a specific relationship in your life, or maybe something, it's possible, some situation. The 7 of Cups is like, I really don't know how I feel about this. I don't, maybe it's like something is unresolved. Mercury square Pluto tends to bring up things that can be unresolved within our psyche to be verbally expressed. For you, it's in relationships, it's in your emotional center, your home, everything I mentioned. So I can see those things that have been unclear bubbling up to the surface in order to be healed and resolved and let go of with this Temperance and the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like they have almost been holding you back actually in some way. So I don't know if they have involved some type of like energy drain, like a ongoing fear that you have, or you're constantly doubting something or questioning something, or um, something really put you in your feels and it just drains you of some energy. I really feel that that's being healed so that you can move onwards and upwards. Like, let's get over this. Let's refocus our energy. Sometimes Scorpio, you can get fixated, but in the wrong direction. And I really feel like it might have been that way for you. So it's going to shift a little bit now. And I think it's going to free up some of your energy resources to become more productive and focused on things that are helpful in your life. So on April 5th, we have Mercury in the 7th, again in Taurus, but this time it's sextiling Saturn in the 5th house. So I actually really like this. I feel like Mercury tends to be kind of like this busyness energy, very thinking, very in our minds. But when it's making a positive aspect to Saturn, it's trying to bring some of our thoughts into reality. It's trying to ground some of our ideas, and it can bring almost like a stillness or a practicality with it as well, which I think can be very settling and stable for people who have strong Mercury in their charts, like I do, for example. We sometimes need those earth energies to kind of ground us and make us focused. So this energy, I think, is actually going to help you let go of something from the past. The reason I say that is because just the next day, you're going to have a full moon in Libra in your 12th house, which is very much like linked to the past and linked to relationships. And full moons are a lot about releasing and letting something go. They are about realizing something, having wisdom come, because the full moon means there's light, there is clarity around our lives. And so I really feel like that for you is coming in the sector of your 12th house of our past and of things that we have kind of stored away. And I think you might have stored away a bit of like relationship trauma, maybe something from the past where relationships didn't work out, where people hurt you, where your parents didn't treat you right, where you maybe even abused. There's something around this energy where I feel like you've held on to some of those pains. And I say that because I pulled the 3 of Swords, which to me is indicating that this full moon is bringing that up to the surface to release the heartbreak of our past. And with the Queen of Swords, it's like we're seeing it with absolute clarity. We are looking at the situation almost like through new eyes, and it can help liberate us from stories that we tell ourselves that can perpetuate heartbreak within our lives. So for example, let's say that you went through like somebody cheating on you when you were 16 and you kind of held on to that. And you told yourself this story that all men cheat or all women cheat, da 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 da. And you kind of held on to this resentment and to this belief and this fear that it's just going to keep happening. When this full moon in Libra comes, I really feel like that's going to start to loosen up a little bit. And you're going to start questioning it and looking at your story through new eyes. You can see those eyes literally sitting above her. Like new eyes, new perspective, new clarity around relationships that I think you're going to be like, maybe my way of perceiving this person or this thing or the situation is actually unfair, or it's actually not objective. It's really subjective. It's really biased and altered based off of my past wounding. My part of me that's triggered, that's looking for this same circumstance to happen again. And I say that especially not only because it's a full moon in your 12th, that I think it will bring that clarity, but because the day before, on April 5th, we have the Sun conjunct Chiron in Aries in your 6th house. So this is very healing. Whenever the Sun conjuncts Chiron as a collective, we're all going to have some part of our masculine undergo a healing process. And on that same day, Mercury is again sextiling Saturn, which I think is going to actually stabilize your relationships and bring more joy into them. I feel like there's almost been some part of you with Aries in the 6th house that has been really kind of masculine in terms of like your if you feel insecure, if you feel anxious, it's almost like your Aries will kick in. And it's like, all right, let's get stuff done. Let's check stuff off our to-do list. You might step into like really masculine mode. You might get more defensive. You might be more proactive. And there's something about that energy that can also put you into a state of like pushing people and things away that feel threatening. And I think that there's something healing there where you're realizing how to work more together with somebody, how to create more of a sense of unity, and that feeling of like we have a common goal. We're working on this together. If there has been ways in which I've been defensive and actually my ego is coming up or my defenses are coming up and I'm pushing you away, it's like I'm realizing actually at this full moon and the day before that we want the same things, that you have my best interests at heart, that you care about me as a person, that you're seeing me for who I am, and you're honoring my uniqueness and my gifts in this relationship. And I feel like there's just something really healing happening here where it's going to help you relax your entire nervous system into a state of more harmony. And again, I think it's coming from a place of the Three of Swords and Queen of Swords. Like I'm able to see this with truth and with clarity right now in ways that I haven't before. And that helps me realize that you are not the enemy here. Instead, we have the Page of Wands, which is like, you are my companion. You are my coworker. You are my friend. You are my partner. You are my family member. You are this person that I have a common goal with, a common objective with. And we can direct our energy towards a mission together rather than any kind of defensiveness that separates us. So this could be, again, in any kind of relationship, but I really feel like you guys are healing immensely around that and loosening up in some ways and allowing yourself to embrace more of the Aries passionate side of things and like excitement and working together with somebody towards something rather than the Aries kind of combativeness or defensiveness or separateness that can come when we're coming from a wounded masculine place, which is what I feel like might have been triggered in the past. And this full moon is helping resolve that. Okay. I mean, you are a Scorpio rising anyway, so there's something about your energy that's a little bit like protective of yourself. And I feel like that some of those defenses are starting to like soften. Okay, on April 11th, we have Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries in your 6th house. So this is like one of the best transits of the year. Sun conjunct Jupiter tends to bring opportunities. Oh my God, I pulled the 10 of Pentacles. Yes. So some of you guys might get some type of career or financial opportunity that makes you feel like you can receive, especially for all the past work that you've done. Even if this is not even necessarily receiving like a bunch of money, which the 10 of Pentacles does represent. Some of you might be receiving support. Some of you might be feeling like, you know, your husband comes home and is like, honey, I will do the dishes today. I got you. Or you might have a friend who just like offers you a helping hand with, you know, creating a logo for your website. I don't know. I'm just like making up random stuff. But the thing here is that I really feel like there is that, again, a healing and an offering around collaboration, working together, responsibilities, and like getting support or opportunities or even more work that feels really expansive. So it could be more work, but it's like, oh my gosh, yes, I get to work with my favorite clients. I get so much more money. Or it's like, oh, finally I get a little bit of a load off. Finally I get a little bit of like support in taking care of my mom. I'm here every day after work at the nursing home or whatever it is. And I feel like I need support. And it's like, okay, somebody's coming in here to offer that and create some kind of stability. This could also be a work opportunity that has the potential to be financially rewarding into the future. The 10 of Pentacles is a very stable, reliable energy that, again, lasts the test of time. So some of you guys might be having some support or something that comes through that doesn't just quickly go away. It's something that can build, that can grow, that can support you further into the future. On the same day, we have Venus moving into the sign of Gemini in your 8th house. And I feel like this is, again, I'm almost getting some sense of like taking a little bit of a load off, especially with the 9 of Wands, where we feel like we're a little bit at the end of our rope. And that's how we can feel sometimes with our 8th house energy. Is like we can just feel like exhausted by it. We can feel exhausted by the burdens that we go through, the constant insecurities and inner demons that we're always fighting within ourselves. And I feel like when Venus moves into the 8th house, it's not saying that work is done, but it might bring some like fruition from the past efforts that you have. Venus can tend to bring a sense of like blessings, ease, lightness, emotional support, relationship support. So you might notice that the things that have really felt like a burden to you, you're getting some kind of friendship, relationship, or emotional support, or something in your life that feels like, or if you are in debt, for example, and if you've been struggling financially, it's like you're getting some kind of client or some kind of financial support from somebody else, even if that's inheritance or, you know, a gift or whatever. Even if it's not earned, it's like you're getting some type of relief. That's really what I'm getting the idea of relief here. But relief that's like long overdue. Anything else about Venus moving into the 8th house? And I just pulled the 4 of Swords. Yeah, I think rest and relief. Rest and relief is like a really big one here. Like you don't have to do everything on your own all the time. You can like take a second, take a beat to relax, meditate, get a massage, like allow yourself to receive for once. On April 14th, we have Venus in your 8th squaring Saturn in your 5th. So this could feel like a little bit challenging. If there was some good things coming in, like this day, it might feel like, oh, but like what happened? Like everything was going so well. And sometimes we just feel, yeah, like the 5 of Cups, we feel like emotionally not supported. Maybe you do go through something and it's like your partner's been really helpful. And then this on the 14th, they're just like not helpful. They're just not aware of you. They are just making you feel more alone. And this is any kind of relationship or support system that you're relying on. What felt stable might feel like, oh, really? Like you're disappointing me. It feels like a disappointment, emotional lack, emotional disappointment. And that's just kind of par for the course. Everyone's going to be going through that on that day, and it's going to pass, which is the good news. It's not this super horrible thing. But I think in general, people are going to be kind of up their own ass that day, and not really like considerate and kind and loving as we normally are. On the 20th, we have Aries solar eclipse, which is a new moon happening in your 6th house. This is a really big deal. A solar eclipse is just a change maker. It has Uranian type energy. It has the energy of a catalyst to get things moving, to jump timelines, to skip ahead, to have realizations, massive growth, breakthroughs, sometimes crises, but all in the name of evolution and change. And in your 6th house, this can bring about changes for you mentally, physically. You might notice that your job shifts, your relationships with your coworkers can shift, your relationship to responsibility or routine, mundane tasks. And again, managing your health mentally and physically, those things can really undergo some type of massive metamorphosis. So if you've been neglecting your health mentally or physically, you might really start to have some big breakthroughs around that and realize I can't do this anymore. I have to approach my life differently. Like I don't want to feel this way anymore. Or if you've been tackling your responsibilities in a way that's just entirely unstructured and overwhelming, or hasn't been proactive enough, like we were talking about, or maybe it's been too proactive that you're just like burning yourself out. This will draw your attention to that. And I'm going to make a whole separate video on that because I need to look at all the aspects and everything like that. So do make sure you check out my channel for the new and full moon, especially this new moon, because it is an eclipse. So it's going to have impacts for the next 6 months. On April 20th, when the eclipse occurs, we're also having the sun moving into the sign of Taurus. in your 7th house. First of all, I did want to kind of mention, I want to go back because I did pull some cards, and I think that these are about the solar eclipse because it's in the 6th house. We have the Hanged One and the 10 of Wands. So I definitely feel like there is some... One second. There is some burden that I feel like you guys are holding on to. Maybe some of you guys are working too hard. Maybe some of you guys are like taking on too much responsibility. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like for each of you. I'm going to, again, do a whole separate video on this, but it feels like you're really weighed down by something, and it doesn't have to just be like a responsibility. It could be mentally or physically that you're burdened by something. And the Hanged Man, I feel like, is a lot about finding some way to release that, finding some way to take some of the weight off. You can see he's finally like not standing on his feet. He's hanging upside down by his feet. This is giving his feet a chance to rest. They're always bearing his weight. They're always holding on to this thing. And for some reason, I also got the imagery of like him hanging and coins falling out of his pockets. So there might be ways in which you actually can spend money to get support or to make things easier on yourself and to not hold on to things so tightly. The Hanged Man also has something to do with changing our perspective about things. The sun moving into Taurus that day, I think you're going to have the outcome of the 9 of Pentacles. This is a lot of financial abundance, success, things working out for you. And when the sun does move into Taurus, I think you're going to get clients or get support or get more help, maybe have realizations about your relationships. I will say that though the 9 of Pentacles is a very independent type of energy. So it doesn't, I think that might still be talking about the new moon on itself. Let me see if there's any other energy around the sun moving into the 7th house. Sun moving into the 7th house. It's just also a time to like focus on other people. Weird. I pulled the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. 9 and Queen of Pentacles, very like financially savvy, independent energy, which is strange because the sun moving into 7th is a lot about like, let's focus on our relationships. Let's work with other people. Let's do this. But maybe it's more so about like collaboration and support rather than you entirely like shifting your energy towards somebody else. It's like, how can they support me to get my dreams? It kind of feels like that. The Queen of Pentacles, again, is really strong, is really independent. She has a very stable life. She's kind of like settled in herself. She knows her value. She knows her worthiness. She knows how to lead. And so I really feel like if you are getting support from people, if you are attracting new relationships, new people into your life, it's really coming from a place of independence and strength and attracting them because you are feeling worthy, because you know that you deserve it, and not from like a place of anxiety or fear or lack. And then people are coming to you. It feels like a very stable energy, which is Sun and Taurus anyway. Then on the 21st, we have Mercury moving retrograde in the sign of Taurus in the 7th. And this is happening until May 14th. So the way that you kind of operate in your relationships does have the opportunity to undergo a shift in dynamic here. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it means we're redoing something. So if this could look like some people redoing contracts, if you sign any kind of contract, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it during your Mercury retrograde, for example, especially in your 7th house. You might find that you get the short end of the stick. The 5 of Pentacles I see as a lack of support or things like falling through the cracks, things missing, things being improperly balanced, having to put a lot of energy or effort towards something and then not getting it in return. And then the 5 of Pentacles, I really feel like is calling you, when the Mercury goes retro in your 7th, it's calling you to fill any holes in the gaps of your life, especially when it comes to other people and the way people support you, the way that you ask for what you need or work with other people or anything like that. It's really filling the gaps to express what it is that you need and desire so that you can feel like your cups are being filled and that you don't feel like this lack. You might have to go back to the drawing board with the Page of Pentacles. Actually, this is the Knight of Pentacles. You might have to work on something that is more consistent This is Taurus after all. So I feel like there might be something inconsistent about the way that you're showing up to a relationship or someone is showing up for you. And you can kind of see that with my forecast for this month. It's like someone's supporting you, they're not supporting you. It's like this kind of like variable type of inconsistent energy with the way that you feel supported. And I think that this Knight of Pentacles is saying that you and this person need to create some kind of routine or consistency. This is Mercury retrograde in Taurus after all. So there's something about your partnerships where it's like you need to put in the work and you need to do so diligently and consistently every single day. So this could look like, for example, telling your partner every single day what you need from them that day, or having a weekly relationship check-in, or if you are working with some client, for example, or somebody, it's like, how can you create some type of routine, structure, organization, consistency, or work ethic that makes sure that you touch base often and communicate? Because I really think that if you don't, you're going to get this lack energy of feeling like they don't get me, they're not here for me, they don't know what I need from them. Again, this could be even a client. It's like things are falling through the cracks, like there's holes and you're needing to fill them, and you can only fill them by having more consistent, frequent communication about what you're needing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what's going on. And that's how you can actually make sure that you have like a solid relationship with this person or entity. You have until May 14th to fill those patches. The last transit is April 25th. The sun will move into Taurus. Oh, wow. You guys are getting every single pentacle card. 9 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. So I just pulled the King of Pentacles. So I don't know. This is a very like tangible month for everyone because we are moving into Taurus season. But on top of that, it's also not just tangible. It's also like and materialistic in terms of money, but it's also, I feel like, really creating a lot of solidity in your relationships. So I think that you really went from you've even continued to upgrade. You had that Queen of Pentacles energy that I mentioned earlier, where you're focusing on creating that sense of worthiness and stability within yourself to attract that support from others. And then I feel like when the sun in the 7th sextiles Saturn in your 5th on April 25th, I feel like you find that equal match, that equal support. So it's like, okay, I'm putting the vibes out that this is the kind of person, client I want. This is the kind of relationship dynamic that I want. This is the kind of need I want met. This is the kind of support I am requiring, or the kind of attitude or energy from the group or from this entity. It's like, this is what I want in return. And then on the 25th, it's like, okay, you get that in return. You get that and more. You get your match. So it really feels like it kind of comes full circle around that Aries solar eclipse all the way till the end of April. And we have the 3 of Cups, which is a card about like joy and celebration and connection. I think that this is just kind of further describing even like a community. Like this is maybe more than one person that you're, or something at the very least going right. And it's like people are celebrating that, or you are excited about that. You might notice that you want to like go out with your friends more, or something is just working in your relationships. They're becoming stronger. I feel like your kind of determination with this Lion card, like your grit, your like tenacity to fight for what you deserve, is showing itself as strength that people are really attracted to, and that people ultimately will, so like they will meet you halfway. When somebody is showing you that they're like this really strong, courageous person, like you're going to attract that from others. You're going to attract good things from others. I mean, not if you're overly aggressive, but strong in the sense of like, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I deserve. And I'm not going to just like keel over because you're guilt tripping me, or you're making me feel a certain way, or blah. And this is saying like, I am definitive about this. And that strength card is really saying, okay, we see that, we respect that. Leo is about respect and admiration. They respect and admire that in you. And because of that, they are reciprocating, or they're walking away, but they're going to give you exactly what you need in that either situation. Let me pull one advice card. By the way, if you guys are interested in a forecast, like not a forecast, but like I guess it's forecast. It's like transits for all of 2023 with the energy of each and every day. This is not every single transit in April. It's just the major ones. If you're interested in something like that, I have a Notion template, which I'll link down below. So you guys can check that out. All right. You guys got the Herkimer and the Bloodstone oracle cards. So this is your advice for April. Bloodstone has come to help you understand the importance of your existence. No big deal. For real though, in your lineage that there have been patterns, habits, and behaviors that have been passed down, bequeathed to the newest generation at birth. You yourself hold these things now and are running through your veins and have the power to choose whether you share them with those who follow. The Bloodstone asks that you pause and consider what you've inherited that might not be serving you. Is there a pattern of trauma, abuse, or pain that you find yourself repeating? Choose now to break that cycle and free yourself and your future generations. So this is the full moon in Libra on the 12th. Remember how I said there's some kind of past pain that you guys are holding on to and being triggered by, reacting by, and you're going to have clarity around that for the first time? This is that Bloodstone card as well. This card is saying this isn't just your past pain. This is your ancestors' pain. This is your mother, your mother's mother, your mother's mother's mother. And there's something in your lineage that I think you are needing to break the pattern of or the cycle of within relationships. And it's going to help free you immensely. Even if it's a really small thing, like not accepting compliments, for example. But I think it's going to be bigger than that. But all right, Herkimer. Through the clarity of Herkimer, it's easier to see yourself as you truly are. You're being invited to stop striving to become anyone other than yourself. There is nothing to fix, change, or become. Desiring to be anyone but yourself is a tragic waste of your unique brand of magic and splendor. This is what I feel like what I was talking about with that Queen of Pentacles. Like, I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. It's not trying to adapt to be more likable or to be somebody that you're not. It's like, I'm solid in myself and I will attract people who appreciate exactly who I am. Herkimer opens your crown chakra to help you see that you're a divine child of the cosmos, crafted with care from stardust to be exactly who you are. Your creation was no mistake, and you are meant to share your one-of-a-kind soul with this world. Only you can do what you do. You are already your perfect self. Okay, I love that. So I will just finish up by saying that I am offering ongoing coaching. I have not created a coaching page for this or website page for this or anything. But I'm offering a 12-week coaching program. If you are interested in exploring your chart and kind of seeing what disruptions happen during your developmental phase and how that's creating patterns that you keep repeating in your current reality as an adult, things that you're struggling with that you're wondering, why can't I stop this? It's in your astrology chart. It's in your past, and we will work on that in our coaching sessions together. We need at least 12 weeks because it takes that long to have these really life-changing breakthroughs. And my clients have already had a lot of success. So if you're interested in something like this and you just want to check it out, learn more from me, hit me up at contact@willsboom.com and we can set up a free discovery call. And I hope you guys have a great day.